Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and the case related to Julian Assange. Let us start the session with the question, what is this editorial about? This editorial is about the ongoing legal case. It is about a case, ongoing legal case, surrounding Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, and argues for the dropping of charges against him by the United States government. It is about a case against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, and it is about arguing for the dropping of charges against him by the US government. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is a predominantly means a mainly supportive, in support of Julian Assange, and persuasive, persuading the US government to drop the charges. Persuade someone means to convince someone to do something. Let's see how it starts. Free the messenger. Free the messenger means free someone. Who is the messenger here? Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. Free the messenger on the Julian Assange case. But what is the main idea of this editorial? The US should drop charges against Assange and hold up free speech. This Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, published a lot of documents, released a lot of data related to how the US government works, and that threw the US government in bad light. Based on that, a case has been filed, and this editorial, the main idea, the US should drop. The helping verb should is used to advise or suggest. Advise or suggest. The other meaning, it is used to express a possibility, the chances are less. But here, advise or suggest. The US should drop charges against Assange and hold up free speech. Hold, held, held. Hold up is a phrasal verb. What does it mean? Support and prevent something from falling. In this context, support. Support what? Free speech. It is the main idea. Any editorial like this, you have to know because it is about a particular case, you have to ask questions. What could you have to start with a question? What could be the broad framework? Excuse me. Because it is about a case, who is the accused first? Who is the person accused? And what are the allegations? When did this happen? Then where? Why has he been put behind bars? Right now he is in prison. And what are the countries involved in this case? Basically, he is an Australian. Right now, he is in the UK prison, and the US wants his extradition. All these questions, you have to pertinent questions. Who is the person accused? What is his profile? Why has he been accused? What are the accusations or allegations? And what exactly happened, when it happened, where it happened? Why has he been accused or alleged of some irregularities or whatever it is? And how many countries are involved? What are the countries involved? There are three countries involved. One is Australia, the second is the UK, the third is the US. And what is the stand taken by the editorial? Here, the stand taken by the editorial, crystal clear. It says the charges against the accused, in this context, Julian Assange, should be dropped. The US should drop active voice. The charges should be dropped by the US passive voice. Why should they drop the charges? To hold up free speech, to support free speech. President Joseph Biden's comments made off the cuff. Online classes, offline classes, I tell my students when it comes to public speaking is not that easy. You got to have certain skills and you got to have the personality factor. And a lot of people feel shy when it comes to public speaking. And based on that, a few important idioms are there. One is usually in our country we pronounce this as extempore, but actually it is extempore. and off the cuff. Extempore speech or off the cuff speech means without any preparation. You can also think of the word spontaneous. Spontaneous, without any preparation, you give a speech. And these are important idioms. Yes, very good, Tripura Sundari. I appreciate that. President Joseph Biden's comments made off the cuff means without any preparation, just like that. At the White House this week, that his administration is considering a request by Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to drop charges against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has sent a ripple of hope for his family and supporters. A lengthy sentence, but in a nutshell, it is about the comment or the comments made by the US President Biden off the cuff without any preparation, just like that. What were the comments? The US government would consider the dropping charges against Julian Assange. And this particular thing, and based on what they would consider, based on a request made by the Australian President Anthony Albanese. And this particular thing has sent President Perfectance a ripple of hope for his family and supporters. A ripple. A ripple actually gradually spread in this context, causing several other events to happen one after the other. But actually, if there's a water body, imagine I'm not an artist. Imagine there's a water body. You are standing here, you take a stone, and one angle you throw the stone into the water body. Then what happens? It makes ripples. You see, when it jumps, it makes ripples. These are known as waves in circular form, ripples. Here you can take the word ripple to mean impact. Has sent ripple of hope, means some hope for his family and supporters. Mr. Assange, an Australian citizen, is in the UK's Belmarsh prison. That's what I said. Three countries are involved. One is Australia, second is the UK, third is the US. Mr. Assange, an Australian citizen, is in the UK's Belmarsh prison and is awaiting a British court decision on whether he can appeal a 2022. Here, awaiting an important word. Wait, the verb takes a preposition for, waiting for someone, waiting for something. But after awaiting, await is also a verb. You cannot use the preposition for. Awaiting something. Don't use a preposition for. That is important. Has been given a few times in different competitive exams. And is awaiting a British court decision regarding what? On whether he can appeal a 2022 extradition order that would send him to the US to pay serious charges for the publication of US government and diplomatic cables in 2010. This goes back to 2010. And he made an appeal to the to the UK court. I'm sorry. He is awaiting a British court decision. He must have appealed to the court whether he can appeal a 2022 extradition order. What is this extradition? Means what? Extradition, an important word. Sending someone back to the country or state where they have been accused of a crime. Imagine someone has committed crime in a particular country and he leaves that country. Then if he's sent, imagine the government, the new government or the new country sends him back to the country where he committed crime. That is known as extradition. Extradition order that would send him to the US to face serious charges. What are the charges he has been facing for the publication of US government and diplomatic cables in 2010? He published certain documents, and based on that, and those documents not good for the US government, they threw a bad, they showed the US government in a bad light. Because of that, the case has been filed. The court's order is due on May 20th. He has made an appeal, and the court is going to give the decision on May 20th. The court's order is due on May 20th, and it has asked the US, it has asked, again, President Perfectance, the US for assurances that he will not face the death penalty. What is the fear here? Imagine right now he's in the UK and he is going to be extradited to the US. Once he is extradited to the US, there's a possibility of this person getting the death penalty or capital punishment. Based on that, the court's order is due on May 20th, and it has asked the US for assurances. The UK court wanted assurance from the US government. And what is the assurance they wanted? The court wanted that he will not face a death penalty. That is the assurance the UK court wanted from the US government. However, Mr. Albanese's appeal means a request, it could be a legal term as well, to Mr. Biden may make that decision redundant because the president of Australia, the prime minister of Australia appealed this particular thing from the court may become redundant. Mr. Albanese's appeal to Mr. Biden may make that decision redundant. Redundant, we have got many a time. What does it mean? Unnecessary use of words or no longer needed or useful. Superfluous, you have to think of that word as well. And redundancy, an important topic from competitive exams point of view when it comes to English. Mr. Assange, 52, has been punished. This is in present perfect passive voice. They have punished him. He has been punished. Quite a lot already. Already has been punished. Quite a lot. While seeking asylum and under arrest. He has been punished quite a lot already. How and when? While seeking asylum, an important word, and under arrest. Obviously, once a person gets arrested, he or she has to go a lot of hardships being in the prison. There's one important word here, asylum. Asylum means it has two different meanings. One meaning shelter, the protection granted by a state to someone who has left their home country as a political refugee. From one country, some people go to another country because of a turmoil in this country or a political chaotic situation in this country. And when they go to some other country, this country provides shelter. The term for that is asylum, protection. Then these people are called political refugees. And the country that provides shelter, we say the country has provided political asylum. That is one meaning, and that meaning goes with this context. But what is the other meaning of the word asylum? Asylum also means a place where lunatics are kept. Lunatic means a mad person. In our country, we use the expression mental hospital. Mental hospital sounds very harsh. Instead of mental hospital, a better word, asylum. When we try to say something that is harsh in a nice way, we use a word. There's one important word. What is it? Euphemism. This is an important word they have given in a few exams. Euphemism means saying something harsh in a nice way. This talks about Mr. Assange, 52, has been punished quite a lot already while seeking asylum and under arrest. And according to his family, he is too ill and anxious about being extradited, worried about being extradited because once he is extradited, there's a possibility of getting the death penalty or the capital punishment. Mr. Assange has faced, again, present perfect. Mr. Assange has faced a Swedish warrant for rape and assault. Charges he denied, and the case was dropped. They dropped the case, past tense active voice, the case was dropped, past tense passive voice. Here it talks about warrant. Arrest warrant, you all know, I don't have to tell. Anything that gives authority for an action or decision. Here, Mr. Assange has faced a Swedish warrant for rape and assault. Assault, we have got many a time. Assault means physical attack. If someone is attacked physically, we use the word assault. He has been assaulted. He denied the charges, he did not accept, and the case was dropped. In the US, coming to the US, how many cases are against him? In the US, he faces present tense 18 charges that could total 175 years in prison. The charges, 17 of which are under the US's century old Espionage Act. Espionage, an important word. It is nothing but spying. Spy, anything that has the practice of spying. Under this Espionage Act, he may get about, there are 17 cases, he may get imprisonment to the extent of 175 years in prison. No, no, yesterday also someone mentioned this Loga Priya. I wanted to mention that. I saw your message. I'm not going to do it because first I expect all of you to depend more on listening than on the visual thing. The reason being, this is the main part from here to all of you, please listen. Something important I'm going to tell, a little off the track. This is the main thing you have to focus on. When it comes to this thing, you can have a look and listen. But the main idea here, listening is very important. Whatever the words and the meanings behind me, you can listen and you can get the meaning because you have to listen. Don't depend on the text visual thing. One thing. Then you may ask, sir, after the session, if we want to know the words, don't, no doubt we'll listen. We got the words, but we would like to have a look at the words. What should we do? That is the reason why I'm providing the PDF. In the PDF, you don't see my image. In the PDF, you see only this one, the slide as it is. You don't see my image and nothing, everything becomes crystal clear. Do you understand? Loga Priya, all of you. There is no need to reduce. You can have a look at the PDF. In the PDF, you don't see my image, my photo, and the text is crystal clear. This particular slide, without my presence in the slide, my image in the slide, you get in the PDF. What is the big deal? There you have the word, the part of speech, the meaning, and it doesn't matter. Live session, I'm blocking, not blocking, it is not important because all of you should develop the listening skill. That is very important. Listening skill is important here. You are looking at the text. The text is here. Nothing is blocking. The words listen and get. After the session, take the PDF. Very simple. Problem solved. Mr. Assange has paid. Where did I went a little off the track. The charges, 17 of which are under the US's century-old Espionage Act. What are the charges actually? What do they pertain to, related to? Pertain to the publication by WikiLeaks of thousands of classified US documents. Classified information means official and secret. Every government has classified information. Public cannot have access to that information. Classified US documents related to the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, many of which showed the US Army's methods in a bad light, means they threw bad impression. They created bad impression about the US Army's methods and revealed we have got so many times, disclose, make public, US government strategy. Based on that, the US government must have got annoyed and have filed a case. Obviously, that is inevitable. To be sure, Mr. Assange's decision to publish the trove of documents, trove, also we use the word treasure. Download the PDF after this. You join the Telegram group. After the session, go to the description of the video. In the description of the video, you have the link to join the Telegram group. Join the Telegram group. There you have the PDF. Every day I upload the PDF in the afternoon. You can access, you can download. To be sure, Mr. Assange's decision to publish the trove, another word, treasure, valuable collection. Here, valuable collection of information, documents. To be sure, Mr. Assange's decision to publish the trove of documents without check and revelation of names of specific US officials, employees, soldiers, and civilians put many lives at risk. Without checking, publishing important documents, classified documents, definitely the lives of many people will be put at risk. The sentence talks about the same. To be sure, Mr. Assange's decision to publish the trove of documents without check and the revelation of names of so many people, US officials, employees, soldiers, and civilians put many lives at risk. Governments are entitled to have their national security secrets. Entitled means having the right to certain benefits or privileges. Entitled means part of speech adjective. Every government is entitled to hold some information that is known as classified information. Governments are entitled to have their national security secrets, and confidentiality is respected for a reason. We have to respect the confidentiality. Some information confidential, and confidentiality has to be respected for a reason. Everything cannot be made public. It may result in a chaotic situation. It is also true that in several instances, WikiLeaks did partner with media organizations to do the scrutiny. In many cases, WikiLeaks partnered with the media organizations, did partner, that is used for emphasis, to do the scrutiny, to do the cross checking, verification, thorough checking required when confronted with secret documents. Confront, come face to face, usually with hostile attitude, antagonistic attitude, enmity. It did check, it did scrutinize to ensure that only those in public interest were revealed. Everything cannot be revealed, but something useful for the public, public interest were revealed, made public. But there was also some element of data dumping. There was also, because it talks about what exactly happened in 2010 past, but there was also some element of data dumping. Here, data, so many times we have got datum, data. Data can also take a singular verb, plural verb. Used as a collective noun, singular verb. Used as a plural of datum, plural verb. Very simple. But there was also some element of data dumping. Dumping is a negative word. Dump means what? To get rid of something. And it goes with garbage, you all know that. But data dumping means without cross checking, bypassing any careful journalistic effort that may have earned it more protections. There was also some element of data dumping. That means some documents they might not have verified. Without verification, they must have released to the public. Data dumping, bypassing any careful journalistic effort means scrutinizing that may have earned it more protections. Had they done it, they would have got more protections. However, it is hard for the US to explain why it has thrown the book at Mr. Assange as a publisher, but not his source. He had a source. And this sentence talks about the US wanted to punish Mr. Assange, but it ignored the source from where he got the information. What is a source? Who is a source? But not his source. US Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning. However, contrasting word. It is hard for the US to explain. The US cannot explain why it focused on Mr. Assange, why not on Chelsea Manning, the source. Why it has thrown present perfect the book at Mr. Assange as a publisher, but not his source, US Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning. The Biden administration has made the protection of democracy worldwide a policy priority. Now it talks about the US foreign policy, the US stand, what is the US known for. The Biden administration has made the protection of democracy. They give utmost importance to freedom of speech, human rights, democracy. The Biden administration has made the protection of democracy worldwide a policy priority and to continue to prosecute a transparency activist. Continue to prosecute. Prosecute means what? Institute or conduct legal proceedings against someone or some organization. On the one hand, they talk about protecting democracy and upholding, holding up freedom of speech, all these, and to continue to prosecute a transparency activist while castigating governments worldwide for hounding whistleblowers, castigate, reprimand someone severely, worldwide for hounding whistleblowers. Hound means in this hound actually means a dog used for hunting. Here, as a verb, it means harass, persecute, or pursue relentlessly, while castigating governments worldwide for hounding whistleblowers, free speech activists, and public accountability NGOs seems contradictory. Actual idea, the sentence talks about there are two things the US government is doing, and those two things are contradictory. What is the first thing? It talks about democracy, it talks about freedom of speech, it talks about liberty on the one hand. On the other hand, it tries to uh, prosecute transparency activists, it tries to castigate governments worldwide for hounding whistleblowers, it tries to target free speech activists, it tries to target public accountability NGOs. All these seem contradictory. They don't go hand in hand. More than ever, the US can show by example in the Assange case that it believes in democratic freedoms and not in shooting the messenger for shining a spotlight on the way its government works. It ends on this particular note. What is it? I think that is the last one. Ah. It says it has to show by example more than ever. Right now, it is the time. It is time. The US can show by example in the Assange case that it believes in democratic freedoms and not in shooting the messenger for shining a spotlight on the way its government works. Spotlight has two meanings. One meaning, a strong focused light thrown upon a particular spot. Usually, it goes with theater on stage. Imagine there's a light, and the light, there's an actor here. This is known as spotlight. Noun as a noun. Spotlight, someone is in spotlight, means what? Someone is in the limelight. Everyone talks about that person. What it says, it has to show by example that it believes in democratic freedoms and it should not shoot the messenger for shining a spotlight on the way its government works. It ends on that particular note. I brought this. The other one talks about economy. In spite of that, I brought this because so many important words are there. I bring keeping in mind language proficiency. Language proficiency point of view, this is a better editorial. And that's all for today. Do remember to subscribe and share. And Sunday, the Hindu does not publish editorial. Tomorrow, no editorial session. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. But do remember to subscribe and share. Thank you very much.